throughout halls of a Four Seasons loft. In Austin, I saw, pause, my eyes crawl to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin, throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal shaded lids, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near, stay there. Remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive.
Boom, yes it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Thank you, I'm your host, Matt Clark. Today is Wednesday. Of course, Thunder play the Jazz tonight, and we're going to look forward to the Thunder winning tonight, improving their win-loss record and improving their dominance and their lengthening their lead in the West. So hopefully everybody's having better. I'm feeling a little bit better. It's been a struggle the last 2 weeks. Like I said, I'm not going to the game tonight. I'm going to chill and get some rest and make sure I stay in because I want to go to the Mavs game tomorrow night. So even though that Lively broke a bone in his foot, it's going to be out 3 to 4 months, which means 2 to 3 months, which means he's going to probably miss the playoffs for the Mavs. So Nathan and I were having a talk yesterday about who we wanted to play. I want to play the Mavs now. I'm not scared of them. Without Lively, they're not as formidable. So, but once again, everybody thought that about when we lost Chet. Then everybody thought that when we lost Hardenstein. Then they thought that when we lost Chet. Then they thought that about that when we lost both of them at the same time. So we'll see what happens with that. But I still like our chances right now in the West and what's happening with that. Now, also on a couple things, the Jets have hired Aaron Glenn, the former defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, which I think is a great hire. I think Aaron, remember he played for the Jets, number 31, played a cornerback for the Jets. And I think Aaron's going to be a great defensive coordinator. I think what he's going to do is kind of like what Ben Johnson for the Lions. I mean, both of those guys got hired right away. Clearly they were waiting for them. And then once again, everybody's Cowboys doing what Jerry Jones does, just screwing it up. But going back to them, what Ben Johnson did, which I think Aaron Glenn's going to do the same thing. Ben Johnson, what did he have to do? He's got a blueprint because when they took over under Dan Campbell, what did they do? Fix the offensive line, got you the quarterback, and then what'd you do after that? You got you some weapons, but you fixed the offensive line. And I think Aaron Glenn, what Ben Johnson did is he took the offensive line coach from the Lions with him to Chicago because you got a quarterback, you got some receivers, you got a decent running back, but you need to fix the offensive line to give the quarterback some time. Now, what the question is, what is Aaron Glenn going to do now that he's hired? Who is he going to take? Who is he going to steal from the Lions? Because remember, oh my God, mine just went blank. The coach of the Texans, what did he do? What did he do? He stole guys from the 49ers. What did McDaniel do from when he went to the Dolphins? Stole guys from the 49ers. So you know who's in the room. You know who's in the coaching staff. You know who's young, who's upcoming, who's doing what. You know what they are because you're around them every day. So you see their work. You see what they do. You see their game plans. And you want to go take another young guy with you. And I think that just like he did, I'm sure Aaron Glenn is going to slice somebody from the Detroit Lions. And so now the question is, Dan Campbell is a helicopter coach, which means he coaches everybody. He doesn't coach just the defense, just the offense. He coaches everybody. He puts guys in place, and he's a CEO. Is what he is. He talks to everybody. He talks to the offensive line coach, the defensive line coach, the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, running backs coach, cornerbacks coach, defensive backs coach, whatever, linebackers coach. He goes to everybody. He lets make sure everybody has a game plan on what they want to do, how they're coaching up the kids. So I think that Aaron Glenn is going to kind of do the same thing, whereas Ben Johnson, I think more is going to be more of an offensive coordinator, kind of like what the guy does at Mike McDaniel does, what they do at the Minnesota Vikings, same thing that they do with 49ers, same thing they do with the Rams. You take a smart guy that's offensive coordinator, you make him the head coach, and you let him do his things. If you're a defensive guy, you go out and you find your young, smart, intelligent, progressive coach. Now the question is, with the Jets, you've got who? You got Aaron Rodgers, who thinks he's smarter than everybody. That's the thing you got to deal with. And I'm sure Aaron Glenn's going to come in and say, look, Aaron, you had a great year. Cool. That's great. But this is how we're doing things. Your job is to quarterback. If you want to follow through the system and do what we want you to do, great. If you don't, okay, we'll find something else, somebody else to do it. I mean, you got to take control for him. You got to be respectful of Aaron because of his pedigree and who he is and what he's done, 100%. But at the same time, you can't come in and acquiesce and give him anything he wants and let him run the team. That's got to be over. That's got to be over. Look, you're the quarterback. I'm the coach. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try to give you what you need, which you've got your favorite guy. We've done some things. Now, what are we going to do? Improve the offensive line to give you some protection because you are an older quarterback. And number two, you've got the weapons. So now what we need to do? We need to protect you, and we need to give you a person that we can get you there. Forget this all this other stuff. That's done. We didn't score points, so clearly your offensive coordinator to me, hey, dude, you got to go. Sorry. We're going in a different direction. Aaron, you either want to go with us or you don't. Sorry, that's your guy, but we're going to bring in somebody that you can work with, that you can help you do what you need to do. But we've got to score points. And Aaron Glenn's a defensive guy. And remember, when Robert Saleh left, what they were compared to what before he left, while he was there, and then after he left, what his defense turned into. So now you've got to get that right, which you have. Now, offensively, like I said, you've got to make some changes. But as a coach, you've got to step in. You can't let Aaron Rodgers run the team. And I don't think Aaron Glenn will. Until he'll come in and go, look, what we did last year didn't work. We've got to score some points. So, Aaron, you're smart, but we're going to bring in somebody who you can talk to, who can help you out, and who can kind of blend with what you do. But we've got to be able to have somebody who's progressive and run plays because they've got to score points. And especially in the division they're in with the Buffalo Bills, with the Miami Dolphins, you're going to have to do some things. And now what did the Patriots do? Hired Mike Vrabel. What's he going to do? What did he do? Hired Josh McDaniel, offensive coordinator, his third time with the Patriots. And what have they done? Won championships. Now, they do have a quarterback, which helps. They got some work to do other than that, but Vrabel did great in when he was at Tennessee Titans. Remember, they were never the same after they got rid of A.J. Brown. Still can't believe they did that, which he was just like, what the hell are we doing? You got rid of Derrick Henry and A.J. What the hell are you doing? Wow. But anyway, so that's what's happening over there. And then when I look at the Detroit Lions, you've got some good bones. Chicago Bears, I'm sorry. You've got some good bones. You've got an upcoming quarterback, which you're going to obviously do some stuff with. You've got to fix the offensive line, which you brought your offensive line coach over, who was coaching the second best, arguably the top 3 offensive line in the NFL, along with the Eagles. So you brought in that guy. So that's, one of the first thing you got to do is fix, because you're on the other side. You played them twice. You see them, you know what they have and what they don't. They need to fix their offensive line. You got to give Caleb Williams some time, and then you got to give him a coach. Like, for me, the biggest mistake that they made, the Bears, how the hell do you not hire Cliff Kingsbury? He was his coach in college, and you don't hire him. What the hell are you doing? Eberflus, I'm sorry, he did not. He wanted the credit. You got the credit, you got fired. How do you not hire the guy? He's coming out of college. You're hiring him, and he got his offensive coordinator. So what did the Washington Commanders do? Hire him, because what did they got? This guy, remember, he coached Patrick Mahomes. He coached Kyler Murray. And now he's coaching Jaden Daniels. You think he couldn't coach Caleb? He coached Caleb in college. You don't think he knows all of his strengths, all of his weakness? That's an easy hire. That's an easy hire. But instead, guess who's in the finals? Of the conference finals, and guess who's not? The rookie quarterback with the coach that you could have had that you didn't take. But you could have, but you didn't. And it's about organizations and about top to bottom, ownership, general manager, and a coach. You gotta have the people because you can have players if you don't have the right coaching the right players. Like we talk about with the Thunder. You look at Golden State. They have 50 wins. They fire their coach. Who fires a coach who has 50 wins? A team that realizes this guy is like Buck Showalter, which I've mentioned many times. People don't even realize he was a coach for the New York Yankees before they hired Joe Torre. Same team, you get a different coach, and they win four out of four straight World Series. You can get a coach that builds people up, which is what our coach is. The Thunder coach is the guy who builds players up. But clearly, to me, I don't see him taking us to another level because he can't get over his minutes management. He can't get over his weaknesses. His strengths are fantastic. He's a great developer of players. He's a great guy that when we get a time after a timeout, he comes out and we usually score 80, 90% of the time. He'll run a play and we'll score out on a timeout, on out of bounds play, almost all the time. So when we need it. So those things are great. But because he's a minutes manager, it affects his flow of the game and it affects his lineups. And until he changes that, the Thunder are in trouble. Now, are we the best team in the West? Yes. Do we have the deepest roster in the West? 100%. Second deepest roster behind the Celtics. The Cavaliers are winning simply because Darius Garland and Mitchell have figured it out. Then you got those two magnificent towers in Jared Allen and oh my God, my mind just went blank. Mobley. So you got both of those guys, and then how do you fix that? You play good defense and you knock down threes. You eliminate the Twin Towers, which is exactly what happened and what they needed to do. Which is, like I said, for the Thunder to beat them without Chet and without Einhart. SGA is going to have to go off, which I knew he was going to because he played bad against them the first time. And number two, Joe, Dort, and Wiggins, whoever, we're going to have to shoot great from the outside from three, which we did. And we eliminated their ability to dominate us inside of the paint. Because remember, to start the game, they had 8 rebounds, 5 were offensively. And then we ended up with, 12 offensive rebounds? So what ended up happening is, once we started knocking down threes, they had to change. And what my coach always said in high school, Dave Smith, rest in peace. He owned Midwest Trophy. He said, listen, we know what the other team's going to do. We're going to game plan. Clearly, we're going to game plan to what they do. But let's do what we do. And if we do what we do, then they've got to adjust to us. And if they adjust to us, then we ain't got to worry about what they do because they're too busy adjusting what we're doing. So make sure that your game plan is better than their game plan. And that's the difference. And that's what I believe the Lions are going to do because Aaron Glenn and Johnson both have come from guys, they built programs that were a shambles. The Detroit Lions were a horrible mess 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And what did they do? Here you go. You get a guy who knows how to come in. He hires the right coaches. You fix the offensive line. You got your quarterback. You put dynamic receivers. Amon St. Brown. You got Williams. You got Gibbs. You got guys in the backfield. So you got guys. Now you got guys who can block for your quarterback, who's a stand guy who stands in the pocket, can't move. Jared Goff. And that's what they did. You got the same thing now in the Jets. You got a quarterback who's a stand-up guy. So you got to fix the offensive line, whatever, to give him protection. Because if you give Aaron Rodgers protection, he's going to eat you alive. So that's the first thing Aaron Glenn's got to fix is the offensive line. Ben Johnson's already trying to do that for Caleb. Now, the difference is Caleb is more dynamic. Now, Caleb tends to hold on to the ball, so you definitely got to give him a good offensive line. But you also got to scheme him and teach him, give him something to help him along. That's why we should have hired Cliff Kingsbury. He knows all of his strengths and weaknesses. But once again, bad organizations do what? Make huge, horrible mistakes. Now, speaking of good organizations, the Thunder, who play tonight in our game tonight, speaking of good organizations, because arguably we have one of the best general managers in the league, which I think Sam Presti is, without question. We play the Jazz tonight. The Jazz are 10-31. The Thunder are 35-16. The Thunder are 35-7, which of course we lost the other night, which I wasn't a fan of because SGA did not play against them, but then J-Dub did not play against them. Hold on one second, I'm blowing up. Sorry about that. I didn't want to blow my nose right there into the microphone. But anyway, the Thunder are 35-7, and like I said, SGA probably said they said he was hurt, and it was more of a precautionary thing, I believe. That's why he did not play against the Mavericks. But once again, we gave away a game. But we weren't going to beat the. We weren't going. The whole thing is, what we know is two things. Number one, we can win without Chet because we've done it 2 years ago, and we did it this year. So we can win without Chet. We can win without Iheart and Chet because we were 4-3 without them. And now we're 5-4 now because we lost. But the thing is, we know the one person we can win without J-Dub. That's clear. We have a winning record without him. The one thing we cannot do is win without SGA. That is the one thing you can't do. So he is the guy that glues everything. And it's so funny when you look at the Thunder game night, 17.5 points. That's a lot of points. But because of our defense and because of what we do, that allows us to do things. Plus, SGA should play tonight. So if he does, Nathan was talking about how he dribbles, and how he used to hate that. And then after he came on the show a couple years ago, he started listening to what I was saying. It's not about him dribbling. It's about him creating opportunities for everybody else, because once he starts going, it eases the flow of what it does everybody else. Because what he does is he will score, or he will create so much pressure on the defense that allows us to shoot an open shot. Or we get a guy, somebody's closing that, he can attack the paint after that. He get a nice easy mid-range or layup, or he can make the extra pass to another guy who's going to shoot a wide open three. That's what he does. So I believe the Thunder should win tonight, 17.5, should be about right, doing everything we do. But this is the thing. When you look at our team stats, this is why the Thunder should win and probably are going to win. And this is the thing that separates us. Number one, we only give up 103.5 points per game. That's number one in the NBA. Field goal percentage, we only let teams shoot 51.4%. That's ranked second in the NBA. Number three, three-point percentage, 32.8. That's first in the NBA. Free throws, we close in, we make free throws, 82.5. We're number one in free throws. Assists, we only give up 24 assists a game. That's third. Pips, that's my stat. Pips, points in the paint, 41.6. That's number one. Steals, we're averaging 11.4 steals per game. That's number one. We only allow 6.7 steals against us. Means we take care of the ball. Blocks, we're fifth. And remember, when Chet comes back, that's going to go up. Turnovers, we only turn the ball over 11.7 times a game. What does that mean? Once again, we take care of the basketball. Turnovers committed by opponents, 18.2. We're number one. So, we take care of the basketball, only committing 11.7 turnovers a game. And then we take the ball away. We make our opponents turn the ball over 18.2. That's the difference. Then when you look at second quarter scoring, we're ninth at 29.1, and our opponents were sixth in holding opponents to 27.0. Now, reason why they're still not highlighted because I'm only doing top five. If you're top five, we're top five in something, then I go ahead and I will bold it. But if we're not top five, that's not a reason. Fourth quarter scoring, we're 22nd, 26.8, and then we're holding our opponents to 25. Now, the 25 points that we're holding our opponents to has several things. One, we've blown out a couple of opponents, and the bench players have been playing quite a bit. So that's number one. Number two, we go on runs in the fourth quarter because of our defense. And I tell everybody, this is one thing I've said over and over and over when you look at our defense. What ends up happening is that our defense, at some point, either in the third quarter, the middle of the third quarter, when J-Dub goes to the bench with about 5 minutes to go, or in the fourth quarter, started the fourth quarter because we made great runs with J-Dub and that group in the fourth quarter. We made great starts in the fourth quarter. What ends up happening is our defense wears teams down because we are so physical. Now, what does that give us an advantage? I talk about this. In the postseason, there's about 5 less possessions a game, number one. Number two, they let you play way more physical in the playoffs than they do during the season, which helps the Thunder because we are physical in defense. It's like Luka. When he said that he had Dort on him in the torture chamber, they set a screen. Boom. All of a sudden, he's got Caruso. Oh, shit. Boom, set another screen. Oh, shit. Now there's Kaysen. The hell you going to do? The next guy you got is SGA. I mean, it don't get easier. Or if you turn around, you got Hardenstein, which you can kind of do something with him, but he's agile. He can move around a little bit. He can get you around. Or if we're going small ball, you got K-Rich. So there's really nothing for him to do, and that's the difference that the Thunder have. And that's the advantage that we do have going into the playoffs. Teams play more games. They get less possessions. And number two, the game is way more physical, which is what always hurts James Harden, because James Harden gets used to getting so many fouls called during the year, blah, 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 that in the playoffs come, he's looking for fouls. He's too busy whining down on the corner, they fouled me, blah, 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 and the other team's going out shooting a three and scoring on him while he's whining. And you do that 4 or 5 possessions, that's 8 to 12 points. All of a sudden, your team's done, which is my whole point with our coach. In the playoffs, teams know his rotation. They know he wants to play J-Dub, at the 5.5, 6 minute mark, right on the 7 minute mark, when it turns about 6 minutes, he's going to put SGA in. They know that. So they can go ahead and stick their best player in there with 7.5, whatever to go. And then he's got a minute and a half, 2 minutes, where their best player is on the floor and we stick in Dort, or we stick in dude. No. You put in your best player, which is SGA, even though I know in your mind is J-Dub. But no, you match them, because whenever we put SGA in, whoever their best player is immediately coming in the game. Immediately their best player is coming in the game. Why? Because unlike our coach, they're not managing minutes, they're trying to manage the game. And Dagnall, until he realizes, now everybody goes, well, we're winning. Yeah, bro, but we're winning in spite of, not because of. But you're not going to win in the playoffs, because every big game, Game 5 against the Mavericks, what did he do? He choked by changing the starting lineup. NBA Cup, what did he do? Choked by changing the starting lineup. And what I mean by that is that when you are used to playing with a certain player, it's like I've said many times, I love playing with the commander, Randy Wright, and I love playing with Bill Self at the end of games. Why? Because I knew where the hell they were going to be. If I do this, they're going to do that. If they do this, I'm going to do that. We knew exactly what we were going to do at the end of games. Nobody was trying to be a Hercules or anything. Nobody was trying to do that. I was going to be the guy with the ball in my hands. I'm going to try to score. If I don't, I'm going to kick it to one of them. And I know that, like with Bill Self, we beat Michigan. Drive to the basket. His man comes over. As I'm driving, he's at the wing. I'm driving to the basket. I get there, his man slides over. As soon as this man slides over, boom. I hit him in the corner. He knocks down a jump shot to win the game. Why? Because he's flowing with me. I know where he's going to go. It's just like SGA. You watch when certain players are on the floor with him, he does certain things. Why? Because he knows what they're going to do. And we make a run every time. Every single time we make a run. Now, what does that mean? That means one thing simply. When you're used to what each other does, it helps you. When you change the flow of what we're doing and who's playing together, it screws your whole team up. It screws your dynamic as far as what do turnovers get? Turnovers get transitional baskets, which means what? Flow of the game offensively. So when you're changing up things defensively, it also affects you offensively, which hurts you. You can't do that. And that's what the Thunder have to be careful of. And our coach is about managing minutes and trying to look, dude, I like Isaiah Joe. I don't want to start Isaiah Joe. Both big games that we've lost, Isaiah Joe has started. Now, I've agreed that Isaiah Joe was going to be the difference maker in the game if he's hitting threes. If he's hitting threes. But he wasn't. And you start him in the game, which screws up the flow of what everybody was doing. Because now it screws up your rotation off the bench on who plays and who doesn't. It's just like with A.J. Mitchell. It hurts us with A.J. Mitchell not being on the court. Why? Because when SGA goes off the floor, you have a true point guard. J-Dub's not a point guard. He doesn't have the handles. That's what A.J. Mitchell would come in and do. That killed us against Cleveland the first time. The second time, we bust them in the mouth and they never recovered in the first quarter. Remember, it was 16-14. J-Dub went to the bench, and we went boom, 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 and we went on a 14-2 run. Game's over. Game's over. Or was it a 16-2 run? Game's over. So they never really recovered after that. So what do you have to do? You have to maintain the flow of when everybody plays together. There's a coach. You know what the hell who's going to flow. There's no way in hell you don't know. They have stat. They have access to all the stats. I'm not a stat guy. I'm an eye test. I'm an eye test guy. I'm not a stat guy. Now stats do count. Don't get me wrong, but I don't go by stats. I mean, I do, but I don't. What do my eyes tell me? What do my eyes tell me who's flowing? What do my eyes tell me who plays better? What do my eyes, like one said, your eyes never, ever, ever lie. Your eyes don't lie. Your eyes are seeing what you're seeing. That's different than if it's a magic trick or something like that, your eyes will lie because it's about distraction. But in football, basketball, and baseball, your eyes don't lie. You can see it's right there. It's like with the Chiefs. People are griping about, oh, they cheated. Dude, what did they do? You gave up 3 points on the opening drive by your special teams. Your special teams killed you. You gave up 3 points right away by the kickoff. Then your field goal kicker got a kick block, missed the field goal, and mixed the extra point. That's 10 points. You lost by 9. But you blame referees. How about blaming your special teams? How about blaming the different things that you did not do? How about fourth down? You didn't call timeout with 3 timeouts left to call timeout to actually, if you're going to go for it, to get the right play. You didn't do that. It's the coaching matters. Big situational plays or points matter on what a coach does and can do. It matters. And those are the little things that are the differences in winning and losing. There's a fine line. And football is the goal line. And basketball is the rim. And baseball is home plate. That's the fine line. Can you get the ball over the plate? Can you hit the ball over the plate? Can you get the ball in the end zone? Can you put the ball in the rim? That's the fine line. And all that being said, the Thunder on a magnificent run. And, we're supposed to get Chet back with end of February-ish, middle to the end of February, which will give us, 20-something, 25 games, 28 games, whatever it is left. And to me, I was telling somebody last night, I was like, that's more than enough games. It's going to take him 10 to 15 for us to figure it out. Now, when you look at what's happened with the Magic, they got Banchero back. They haven't been the same team. Why? Because they got used to playing without Franz Wagner and without Banchero. And then Banchero comes back and has completely changed the dynamics of what their team does. Why? Because it changes the core of who they are. Now, someone asked me, well, what about when Chet comes back? Well, I don't think it's going to affect the Thunder the way that it affects them because their best player is Banchero. Our best player is SGA. So Chet's going to come back in. Chet is a piece. Banchero's the piece. So they got used to being, as a group, playing without the piece, the main piece, and figuring out how do we get better as a group. And that's what happened with the Magic. With the Thunder, it's completely different. We have piece. Chet's a piece. Ihart's a piece. A.J. Mitchell's a piece. They're not the guy. Because when we don't have the guy, we're not going to win. I don't give a shit what your pieces are. With SJ, you ain't winning. It's like Kevin Durant. Without Kevin Durant, you ain't winning. That's your piece. Same thing. But the Thunder have plenty of things to make us feel good, you know. And then, like I said, when you look at the NBA, uh, when you look at the standings, okay, here are the standings. You got the Rockets, which I told everybody the Rockets, and I was talking about, Nathan and I were talking about it yesterday. You got the Rockets, they're coming. They're right there. I told everybody laughed at me, just like they laughed when I said we were going to win 40 games, and we did. I told them the Rockets, they got a coach. They've got guys. Now, do I like their guys? Not necessarily. And that's my grandson. That's his group. He loves him some Rockets. And I was on the phone. I was on FaceTime with him the other night. He was talking about, oh yeah. I said I cannot wait. I'm gonna come down to a Rocket when we play the Rockets. I gotta go there just to take him to a game because his first NBA games were with me here to a Thunder game, and then when he was a baby, and then took him to his first Rockets game. So, anyway, so when you look at it, this is what's going on: 26-14. The Grizzlies, right there, 28-15. The Nuggets coming winners of 3 in a row. Grizzlies winners of 3 in a row. The Nuggets are coming. They're figuring out how they've got Russell's playing good. He and Jokic are playing great together, so they're figuring it out. But like I said, I don't worry about Russell because he's going to do what Russell does. He's going to make an idiotic mistake at the end of games. So I'm not necessarily worried about them so much. The Clippers, not worried about them. Lakers, not worried about them. The Mavs, now that Lively's out, not necessarily worried about them. The Kings do scare me a little bit, but like what Nathan said yesterday with DeMarco Rosen, not as bad. Then the T-Wolves, they're shelling themselves. So, but anyway, when you look at the play-in right now, that's the play-in. You got to figure the Suns, the Warriors, the T-Wolves, the Kings, Mavs. That's your play-ins right there. So that's who the Thunder would play, one of those teams. That's who the Thunder would play one of those teams. And then we'd play the winner of the of the Nuggets and Clippers, which would probably be the Nuggets. Then we'd play the winners of the Rockets, Grizzlies, which, you know, if my heart wants the Rockets to win because of my grandson to make him happy, little G. But my mind says the Grizzlies are going to would beat the Rockets. And I don't think the Grizzlies can beat us. I think the Rockets are a scarier team with us than the Grizzlies. That's what I feel because defensively, we're just perimeter. The Grizzlies, I don't think they can really beat us when it comes to the perimeter. You're not gonna get to the basket. Ja's gonna do what Ja does sometimes, but between Kaysen and Caruso and Dort and SGA, he's gonna have a hard time trying to get something done. And with Wiggins, sorry, I'm not gonna throw out Wiggins. Don't forget Wiggins. So that I look at this and I'm going, okay, well, it's gonna be fine. I don't mind this at all. But anyway, the Thunder's 35-7. We'll be fine. But the Grizzlies, Nuggets, the Nuggets are coming. Tell everybody, Nuggets are coming. They get it together. Over in the East, the Cavs are doing what the Cavs does. They got a nice lead. The East is so weak. Other than the Celtics and the Knicks, the Bucks are still trying to figure it out. Winners of 4, and we'll see them soon. But they don't really scare me that much. They really don't. They really don't. And then when I look at my NBA power rankings, here are my rankings updated. I've got the Thunder 1, Cavs 2, Celtics 3, Rockets 4, Grizzlies 5, Knicks 6, Nuggets 7. And my thing is this, the Knicks and Nuggets, I've seen where the Nuggets are 6, Knicks are 7. Okay, whatever. You can do back and forth. That's not going to hurt my feelings. It's either way, one way or the other. It doesn't really matter to me. And then you got the Pacers, the Clippers, and the T-Wolves sneaking in there. The T-Wolves scare me a little bit because of Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. They do scare me a little bit more than the rest of the teams. But I think that with what we have, and if we're healthy, which we should be by the time we play all them, I'm really not that worried about it simply because I believe that we are the best team in the league. Now, somebody was asking me about SGA and who do I think is going to win the MVP, and SGA is leading MVP. The Thunder are not promoting him, so we're going to. Okay? Thunder don't promote their best player. They're too busy trying to get J-Dub in the All-Star break. And like Nathan and I said yesterday, I believe J-Dub should be an All-Star simply because We're the number one team in the West, and we only get one player? Come on. That's ridiculous. But here's SGA stats. He's averaging 30 points a game, 5+ rebounds a game. I think he's averaging 6 assists now. 5+ assists a game, 2+ steals, 1+ block. Now, in the history of the NBA, and everybody talks about how great LeBron is, but his longevity, that's all you can ever say. A person to have this stat line has only happened 3 times. 30, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. That's Michael Jordan. That's Dwayne Wade. That's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA. Only 3 people have ever done it in the history of the NBA. And the only people who have done it more than once, SGA and Michael Jordan. Think about that for a minute. That's who you have as a player. In the history, there's only been 3 guys to do it. And only 2 of them have done it twice, more than once. And that's SGA and Michael Jordan. And Dwayne Wade did it once. So, people, enjoy who you have in front of you right now. Like I tell people, forget about all the nonsense with the Thunder, you're high. Your best player is SGA. Now, as a coach who's trying to build up a player, oh, he's got, J-Dub has upside. Yes, he does. But he doesn't have the ball handling skills to get you what you want. Now, if you want to play team offense, pass the ball, that's great. That ain't, you got to have a superstar that can get your bucket. You got that now. And you got guys that can support him. And the one thing that is undeniable is number one, when he's making buckets in a row, it relaxes our team. And when we're relaxed, we're hard to beat. Damn near impossible. When we've got guys trying to make plays, that's when we get in trouble. Dort trying to drive the baseline and throw a ball out, steal. Wiggins trying to go to the basket, do something, mess up. Isaiah Joe trying to take people off the dribble to the basket, mess up. Isaiah Hartenstein trying to take somebody off the dribble through traffic, mess up. That's who the Thunder is. We have the others. It's SGA and the others. That's who we are. So let's go ahead and take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit our guys up over at SRB. They love to be behind the scenes. If you have a new building that you're trying to build, they can come in and lay it out and make sure everything is perfectly. Plus, if you've got a water treatment plant in your city or your county, hit those guys up. Because as we said 1,000 times, who the hell doesn't like clean drinking water? I know I do. And, of course, Elm Grove Trucking, if you have needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved, hit those guys up. They'd love to be able to take care of you. And right now, I think he's trying to add another truck because he's got some great opportunities that he's got going on. So hit my guy up over there at Elm Grove. And then, of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. Proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses, which we will start back up tomorrow. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into one of their 5 locations. The main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB East, which is off the Parkway, is 66 and 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, located at 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right there on Garth Brooks, right in front of the hospital. Cannot miss it. Right across the street from the commander's favorite spot, one of his favorite spots, Louis, right there. Had some good times there, no question. Anyway, YNB Peoples, located on 23rd and Bethany between Rockwell and MacArthur. Can't miss it. So, that being said, we have some huge football games coming up. Huge football games coming up. The conference championships, here they go. Now, the question is, who are you looking forward to watch? It's a 2 o'clock game, watching Jaden Daniels, who arguably is, well, not arguably, he does have the best rookie quarterback season in the history of the NFL. Surpassing last year's quarterback, the quarterback, oh my God, what's his name? The quarterback for the Texans. I can't believe it. CJ Stroud. So, He passed C.J. Strzok, who was great last year, and now you have him this year. Conference championship against the Eagles, and we discussed that. Who was his offensive coordinator? The guy that coached Patrick Mahomes in college, the guy that coached Kyler Murray at Phoenix, the guy that coached Caleb Williams at USC, and is now coaching Jaden Daniels. So, once again, the Bears organizations. That's why we're lucky at the Thunder that we have Sam Presti. But like Stephen A. Smith said, hey, was Sam going to continue just to be a playoff contender, or is he going to be a guy who's trying to win a chip? Because now you got the team that can do it. So we'll see what Sam does. But anyway, Eagles and Commanders. Eagles are 6-point favorites. I think they're 6.5 now. 47.5, 2 p.m. on Fox. Tom Brady, of course, will be the guy that does that game. So when you think about it, you go, man, who do you like? I think the Eagles should win. Jalen Hurts should handle this business, I believe, because that running game with Saquon Barkley, I don't see any reason why they're going to do anything different. They should handle their business. And then when you look at the Bills and the Chiefs, that's the game everybody wants to see, really. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs 2-point favorites at home, 47.5. 5:30 is the game on CBS. And when I look at this game, it's like it reminds me of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Eventually, he's going to beat Mahomes, whether that's this year or whatever. Because Josh Allen is a handful. Now, during the season, Josh gets them. I think they're, what is Mahomes? 3-1. What? Josh is 4-1. 4-1. I think he's 4-1 against Mahomes during the season, and the Mahomes is 3-0 in the playoffs. So they're 4-4. So this is the tiebreaker. Now, somebody talks about home field. I don't think that matters because remember last year, what did Mahomes do? He beat Tua. Then he went to Buffalo and beat Josh in Buffalo. And everybody talks about, the field goal. Dude, they had 2 timeouts a minute, 30 seconds, 20-something seconds to go? You think Mahomes is not going to be able to drive down the field and put them in field goal range with 2 timeouts and a minute and something to go? That's just idiotic. That's stupid. Of course he was going to do that. Still, we're going to beat them. And when they got one of the best kickers in the league, come on, Butker? Yeah, come on. That's ridiculous. But when I look at this game, I look at the Bills and the Chiefs. Josh does scare me. And like I told people before, I would have, if you're a Chiefs fan, you would have rather played Lamar Jackson than Josh. Because the Bills aren't afraid of the Chiefs. Josh is not afraid of them. Josh usually plays really well. And when you look at their numbers, the numbers are almost identical. But the difference is that Mahomes always has the ball last. That's the difference. When you look at the 13-second game, and remember, I think that game took everything out of the Chiefs because they turned around and they played Cincinnati afterwards. That was the game. Remember, it was 13 seconds left. Mahomes drove them down the field. Butker kicked the field goal to send it OT. They got the tip, and then went down and got the touchdown, which is funny because when Tom Brady did that to Mahomes in Mahomes' first season as quarterback and beat the Chiefs in Kansas City in the championship game and out on overtime, because remember, everybody forgets, Tom Brady threw an interception. Okay? He threw an interception. They called offsides. They go down, score the touchdown. They go up 3. And then what happens? Mahomes drives them down the field in 30-something seconds to get a field goal, ties it up. Brady wins the flip. They go down, score a touchdown, game over. The Chiefs advocated right then and there for a rule change. Okay? They advocated right then and there for a rule change and said, hey, we need to change the rules. Both teams need to get the ball in the playoffs. During the season, whatever. But in the playoffs, both teams need to have an access to the ball. They denied them. They were the only team that asked for it. Every single team said no. Then, a couple years later, what happens? The same thing happens to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills and the whole United States Every NFL team, oh, we need to change the rules. He didn't get the ball. Oh, well, what happened to the game 2 years ago with Chiefs and the Patriots? You weren't clamoring for a rule change then. All of your teams, all 31 of y'all said no. The 32nd team, the Chiefs said, this is what we want. All y'all said no. Now, when it comes back around to Josh Allen gets beat, all of a sudden you want to change the rules. That was a great game with the Chiefs, too. And everybody forgets Brady threw an INT that should have ended the game. And I believe the Chiefs will win their first Super Bowl if it's that case. But it is what it is. And guess who voted for the rule change? Andy Reid said, hey, we all about it. Let's go. We tried to do it 2 years ago when none of y'all wanted it. Now all of a sudden you do. We're all for it. Because why are you afraid? It's like you look at the Super Bowl. What happened? The San Francisco 49ers got the ball, drove down the field, kicked the field goal. Mahomes, boom, 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 down the field, scored touchdown, game over. Both teams got the ball. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the Thunder and what we're going to do. So before I get too fired up, I'm going to get off this thing so I don't get too wired up because I'm still trying to navigate my sickness. As you can see, that I'm sniffling over here. Anyway, play the Jazz tonight. We have the Mavs tomorrow night, both at home. And then Sunday we go to the Blazers, and then we have Golden State on ESPN. And I think they thought that was going to be a better game, but we need to have more games like. Well, they are sticking us in for more games. Like the Cavaliers game was not supposed to be on TV. They moved that game here in Oklahoma City to be on TV. And I look at the schedule. I mean, Golden State, yeah, but I mean the Bucks. That game should be on TV because look what they did to us the time. This is a replay game. We need to get them back. That's February 3rd. What is that? I think that's a Tuesday. Let me see. Now, that's a Monday because the first is Saturday. Yeah, that's a Monday night. So that game why isn't that on ESPN? That should be on ESPN right then and there. Then, of course, you have the Suns after that on Wednesday. So, but anyway, the Bucks, that definitely should be on TV. So when you look at that, we should win tonight, should win tomorrow night, should win the Blazers, should win Golden State. So that should make us have a 5-game winning streak coming home against the Kings here in OKC. That's what it should be. Now, whether it will be or not, I don't know. But that's what it should be. So, but anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support of this and After the Storm. And we will be on tonight. I hate blowouts, but I'm going to be at home anyway, so I'm going to be watching the game. So we'll probably do After the Storm tonight. So that being said, hey, once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your chats. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for all your support again. Have a good day. Try to stay warm. Peace out.